guys, it's Jade from Boho Bookworm, and today I'm going to be doing the first date book tag. It was created by Kate's Book Date, and I am filming it today because I am going on a date. I decided to do something kind of funky with this video, and by that I mean with every question it is linked to a sort of type of first date you can have, and comparing that to a book. Well, I'm going to give you both my book comparison and also give you a little bit of a story about some catastrophic date or guy that I have gone on a date with, because I think that it would be quite funny to relive those memories. And I don't think it's any lie that obviously I have been on copious amounts of dates and I have some stories to tell, so I hope you enjoy it. First question is the awkward first date. A book where something felt off. It wasn't a bad book, but it lacked that spark for you. To me it has to be According to Yes by Dawn French. I only recently read that book and I don't know, I just think it was extremely odd. I mean, when it first started I thought it was really good and I was quite excited about it, and then suddenly it took this weird direction where this main character was sleeping with 3 generations of men, and it was just very odd and peculiar, and there was definitely something off about it, and it just wasn't the book for me. Now for a story about my awkward first date, it would have to be when I first downloaded Tinder. My first ever Tinder date was with this Spanish/Italian supermodel, and he was a supermodel for Samsung Spain, and we went to this restaurant for dinner because my plans fell through for the night and I was just really bored. And he stared at himself in the mirror the whole night long. I'm talking like, he was so obsessed with himself. And then when it came to ordering food, I ordered like this massive chunk of steak and he ordered a salad, and this dude with a massive 6-pack said to me, no, he's watching his weight because he's getting flabby. And I was like, what? And then it turned out that my phone died and I couldn't get a taxi back to my villa that I was staying in. So I had to rely on him for a lift, which I was a little bit freaked out about already. And it turns out that he bites. Yeah, so that was, pretty awkward as things go. Question number 2, the cheap first date. A book that turned out to be less than you expected. To me, that would have to be To All the Boys I Loved Before by Jenny Han. I just didn't enjoy it. I'd heard so many amazing things about it and it just fell flat for me. I maybe think it was a little bit young for me. I know some people are older than me that loved it. My cheap first date would have to be the first older guy I ever went out with. He was such a dick. He invited me to this little shack to go and have a beer. So we get there, we end up getting absolutely hammered, and bear in mind I was probably about 16 at the time, and afterwards, I don't know what happened, but I think I had to go, probably back to my parents as a 16-year-old would, and then he said to me, oh no, just go, he'll pay for it, it's fine. So I was like, okay, cool, adios. And then next thing I get phone calls from the owner of the shack saying, if you don't come back right now and pay your bill, we're gonna get the cops involved. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And yeah, it turns out I had to go back with my father and pay a bill for a date that they hadn't known I'd been on, because this guy just up and left and didn't pay the bill, and it was quite expensive because we had champagne and shooters, tequila, vodka, everything, and I was quite drunk, so my father was less than impressed. Question number 3 is well prepared first date, better than expected. For this I'm going to give it to Resurgence by AJ Flower. This is a book I received from the author in exchange for an honest review, and I have a full review linked on the comment section down below, so you can go check it out. It was a good book, I just feel it needs a lot more editing, but I think that the storyline is really great, so go check it out if you're interested in the links down below. For my well-prepared first date, I'd have to give it to yet another Tinder date, and that would be with Dane, who is now one of my really good friends actually, and we had never met before, and we decided to drive 2.5 hours each way because we live quite far apart. Met in this dodgy tiny town in the middle of nowhere, rented a little cottage, And when we got there, we had no idea that the owner of the cottage was a like an art teacher. So we ended up just having this amazing weekend of hiking in the mountains and swimming under waterfalls, and then having champagne breakfasts, having art classes, and just like getting absolutely messy with paint. And it was lovely, like a really good first date, loads of cool music, and we just stayed up all night talking, and like it wasn't even prepared, it was just perfect. Somehow it just fell into place. Question number 4, hot but dumb. Pretty book, but not so hot on the inside. That has to go to Shantaram by Gregory David Roberts. I just, you know, I'd heard so much about it, and it's such a beautiful, thick, gorgeous book, and I just didn't enjoy it. It wasn't enjoyable to me, and so many people love it, so I was like, nah. I must say that I don't really have a track record of dating dumb men, but I must say that my ex-fiance was very clumsy, and he used to spill everything, including wine, everywhere, including all over me, and that kind of pissed me off a lot. So that's, yeah, to me that was his dumb trait. Question number 5, blind date, a book that you picked up not knowing anything about. I chose Without You by Saskia Sargonsson. Very good book, very creepy, and just brilliant. I'm going to leave my review on it down below because I don't want this video to get too long, but just go check it out, because if you enjoy a creepy book, you will enjoy this one. I've only had one blind date in my life, besides the Tinder ones, which I don't think really count, but I will never have a blind date again like this, because it turned out that the guy I went on a blind date with was married with 2 kids, and a few months after our horrendous first date, which was at a kids' restaurant, don't ask me why, his wife emailed me demanding an explanation, and I was just like baffled, so I blocked them both on Facebook and didn't understand what the hell was going on. So yeah, blind dates are not my thing. Question number 6 is speed dating, a book that you read super fast, and that was The Grown Up by Gillian Flynn. I think I read it in about 3 hours. Brilliant book, also very creepy, very twisted, and just Gillian Flynn, like Gone Girl, but wrapped up in like that snippet of a book. It's just perfect, so twisted, and just her voice is amazing. I had to think quite hard about speed dating for my story, but I think it would have to be when I went onto a Kontiki tour, which is awesome, by the way. I travelled around Europe, super cheap, and it was awesome. But I started off kind of seeing someone called Damien, who was really cool, this Aussie guy, and then a British guy came on to the bus like 2 weeks into the trip, and I had a thing for the English, I suppose, because I am English, and I was like, adios Damien, hello Finn, and that was it. Question number 7 is The Rebound, a book that you read too soon after a book hangover and ruined the book for you. To be honest, I don't really get book hangovers, and I start my next book probably the same day that I finished the last, so this question doesn't really apply to me. There was like one person I had a rebound with, to be honest. Like, I was quite into this guy in Wilderness called Sean Dan, and yeah, he said to me that he was falling in love with me and then he couldn't be with me anymore because he didn't want to believe in love and all that crap. And I was devastated and heartbroken, and then I got really drunk and somehow accidentally wound up with one of his best friends, and it ruined everything in my life at that point. Like, I lost Sean Dan as a friend, I lost the other friend as a friend, I lost a whole bunch of people, and it just devastated me completely. And I just don't think rebounds are a good idea, so don't do them. They ruin your life. Question number 8 is Overly Enthusiastic Book, a book that felt like it was trying too hard. I have thought about this for days and I don't have an answer for it. As for my story, I'm gonna have to sadly give it to someone who's really lovely, and I wish I could have been a nicer person and, you know, been into him, because he could make someone extremely happy, but just not me. And that goes to Ricardo. He was absolutely wonderful. You know, if you're looking for a partner, he is your dream man. He's like just obsessed with making you happy. The first time I went there, he asked me what soap do I like, what's my favourite flowers, what chocolate do I enjoy. I got to his house and there was a bar of soap, my favourite flowers in a vase, my favourite chocolates lied on the bed. I was like, whoa. And you know, like, he made me music videos of him lip singing songs by Jack Johnson, and you know, he just used to fly me all over the place to go see him, and I was like, it was so perfect it overwhelmed me, I think. And yeah, I'm starting to realise maybe it was a mistake, but I can do better now. Question number 9 is The Perfect First Date, a book that did everything right for you. And ironically, that book has got to be How to Be Single by Liz Taquilo, which is very strange as a date book because it's supposed to be on how to be single, but it's just, it's brilliant. It made me laugh, it made me smile, it made me sad, it just did everything perfectly, and I really enjoyed it. And if you haven't seen the movie yet, read the book, because I think it might be better than the movie. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I've heard the movie's kind of shit, and the book was good, so there you go. As for my perfect first date, it would have to go to one of my big exes called Kyle. We were very close. So I'm just checking if I'm still alone. I don't want to like be filming this when people come home because it will make me embarrassed. But yeah, Kyle was really nice. I was actually dating someone else that was quite abusive, and then Kyle kind of picked me up and helped me, and when I was absolutely distraught and full of bruises, he took me to his house and made me hot chocolate and ran me a bubble bath and let me sleep all this like anxiety and panic away. And then the next day, early in the morning, we had coffee down on the beach and we went swimming, and this seal swam right in between us and we got really scared because seals can be quite aggressive, and I ended up climbing onto his back to double our body mass or whatever to try to scare the seal away because we were nervous. But like, everything about it was just perfect, and as dates go, I think that was really just beautiful. Question number 10 is Humiliating First Date, a book that you were embarrassed to admit that you liked or embarrassed to be seen reading in public. And again, I'm going to have to give it to How to Be Single by Liz Taquilo, purely for the fact that people think that it's a self-help book on how to be single, and I think that if people see you reading it, they think that you are literally like newly single and trying to figure out how the hell to do it. And yeah, I got approached a couple of times when I was reading the book in bars. It's a good place to get things to be picked up. Humiliating first date, I'm going to say, has to go to someone also from Tinder. Tinder seems to be taking the cake in my life at the moment, but it's going to go to someone called Ross, and he was absolutely lovely. But when we went on our first date, I was really mortified because I was just diagnosed with psoriasis, which is a skin condition I've spoken about on my channel before, and I was covered in spots, and I just felt really unattractive when we met, and I was just very self-conscious and nervous, and I had it on my face, I had it on my body, I didn't want to be seen naked, I didn't want to have anyone look at me, I just wanted to cover up, and it was horrible, you know, like it really does affect it when you're trying to meet someone. And I'm going to be doing a bit of a video on how I cured my psoriasis, for those of you that want to know more about it. I hope it's cured. It's not come back for a while, and I'm pretty happy about that, but you know, you never know. I really hope it's gone, and I hope that I can help other people hopefully get some hope and faith that their skin will clear up too, and just give them some advice on how I cleared mine up. So yeah, that is my humiliating first date. A little bit of a downer to be ending this video on, but it's the truth. Okay, in this video I am tagging Melia from Books Paradise, Melissa from The Bookish Babbler, Elena from Eleanor Reads Books, Roya from Unicorn Hunter Books, and Vanessa from Paper Fairy. So I hope you guys enjoy filming this tag. Thank you very much, Katie, for creating it. I had a really fun time putting it together and just remembering some of the horrific first dates that I've been on. Anyway, I hope you guys are all well and lovely, and I'll chat to you soon. Bye!